As Mike continues working with his music slowly crippling him, an eccentric woman sneaks up and tells him about Art in the basement. Not a fan of museums, he simply tells her to get away from him, showing poor emotional intelligence and caution by not recognizing the sincerity in her voice or treating the situation seriously when she tells him that Art will kill them both. After walking away, he stops in the stairwell to call his boss, only to show poor awareness as Art sneaks up from behind and knocks him out. That's how it feels to appreciate a good piece of art. It just hits you. Meanwhile, Victoria finally arrives at the building, but can't find her sister, so she walks around looking for her, only to find Dawn's mutilated corpse hanging from the ceiling. Instead of calling the cops though, she simply moves further into the building, where she ends up hearing someone crying out for help. Believing it to be Tara, she heads towards the sound, only to find Art wearing the hair and skin of the eccentric woman. Now running away from Art, Victoria decides to try and outsmart him by entering the most obvious hiding spot imaginable, but instead reveals her terrible hide-and-seek skills when Art stares directly at her in the locker. Luckily for her though, Art walks away to deal with a clueless man trying to get inside the building. Feeling a bit safer, Victoria continues trying to get outside, only for Art to sneak up and place a bag on her head, but Victoria displays some solid ingenuity and strong resolve when she tears a hole in the bag and then grabs a nail before stabbing Art in the leg. I would have stabbed him somewhere else. Having bought herself a bit of time, Victoria decides to completely waste it by taking a moment to mourn in front of an elegant display of her sister's body, giving Art time to catch up to her and employ his BDSM fetishism as he whips her with a chain. Miraculously, however, Mike sneakily appears after having somehow recovered from getting bonked in the head and treats Art like a pest when he knocks him out, leaving the scene without fully finishing off his assignment like all exterminators do. The pair then lock themselves in another room, where Mike calls the police and tells them that he knocked out but didn't take advantage and kill Art despite recognizing how dangerous he is. Man, these horror villains get so lucky that people refuse to kill them when they have the chance. After hanging up on the police despite them telling him not to, Mike leads Victoria out of the room, but when they make it to the exit, they find it locked, and when Mike looks for something to help them escape, Art knocks him to the floor and then stomps him to death. Oof. Let's talk about him. I don't have much to say about Mike, but one thing I can't ignore is his painful lack of ruthlessness when he doesn't take advantage and kill Art despite considering him extremely dangerous. Him potentially fearing Art's fighting ability couldn't have been the reason for this because he attacked him in the first place. He already had the advantage, so why not go further? Plot. That's why. And his hard-ass head. Dude really got back up after someone whacked his skull with a hammer. Though he probably considered her crazy, Mike also ignored the woman who told him about a dead body and a killer in the basement, which, in addition to prematurely hanging up on the police, leaves his caution a bit lackluster, ultimately adding on another unimpressive attribute and leaving the sneaky smoker with a sturdy skull in C tier.